Hello, everyone. Tony East here. I cover the Pacers for Forbes and Locked On Pacers. Let's talk for 8 minutes about Pacers-Knicks Game 4. The game's been over for about 24 hours. I finally wrote my story on it and watched a Fever game and watched the other conference finals game and wrote a Fever story. I apologize. I've just been so bad about getting these videos up. I'll make no more promises about the timing. I'm embarrassed a little bit, but happy to be getting it done nonetheless as we push on to do one of these for every game this season on this channel. Okay, what a game Game 4 was for the Pacers. They delivered on what they promised everyone. They took the stand post-game after Game 3. It was mostly Tyrese Haliburton, but everybody kind of acknowledged the same thing. They felt like they beat themselves. Nothing the Knicks changed dramatically in the second half of Game 3 led to the 20-point comeback that they had. The Pacers just stopped playing with tempo. Their passing wasn't what it needed to be. It was overpassing at times. It was underpassing at other times. They weren't taking the shots in the paint they like. They only took 25 threes. They didn't make hardly any of them. Just a lot of stuff that was uncharacteristic. The Knicks deserved to win. They capitalized on that poor play from the Pacers. Karl Towns was outstanding. All of that matters. But the Pacers' messaging was clear. They thought that if given another chance, if they played like themselves, they would win. They were very confident pregame. And they were right. They played with tempo all night, regardless of who's on the floor. They had better, yet still some struggles with Cap, better solutions against the Cat as the lone scorer kind of lineups. They never faltered with their offensive style, and they got 3 superhuman performances, and really 4 that I want to talk about as the lead function of this game. But to me, them following through on what they said after that game was the story of Game 4. And among many stories, right? On Locked On Pacers, I talked about the Pacers' quick response to Knicks' adjustments. Every time a new lineup came on the floor, the Pacers would sub and respond. They were ready for strategic changes, everything. They were ready for it with doubles on Cat, with Tony Bradley at the right times versus certain lineups, with Ben Mathurin at the right times versus certain lineups. Like, they just had subs ready to go for any situation. I thought that was all very impressive. And yet, I want today here to talk about the superhuman performances and what stood out about them to me. Among many things, Tyrese Haliburton is going to be the headliner and should be. Triple-double, 32 points, 12 rebounds, 15 assists. Let's stop there first. That's crazy. The portion I just said of his stat line is crazy. And Rick Carlisle and Tyrese Haliburton and the whole Pacers did not want to talk about numbers or stats post-game. They want to talk about winning and the team, and I truly think they mean it. It's not like fake, corny press conference stuff. Like, they have had that kind of mental shift even in like less press conference-y settings the entire playoffs, right? This is what they're about right now. For Tyrese Haliburton to play like that and to be aggressive and to make his team the best they can, the best that he can, he had to be a superstar. He made long twos, he got to the basket, he hit floaters, he hit threes. Amazing game. Led the whole game, not his team, every player, in scoring, rebounding, and assists. Insanely impressive output from Tyrese Haliburton. 32 15 and 12. If you just not get down to 30, 10, and 10, that's been done in the playoffs before from a triple-double perspective. But what made this so special from Haliburton is he had 0 turnovers. Insane to have 15 assists, no turnovers. For reference, the Knicks had 17 assists as a team. Haliburton had 15 on his own. Ridiculous. If you not get to 0 turnovers, only one other triple-double with 30, 10, and 10 and no turnovers in NBA playoffs history is by Baron Davis. But Baron Davis had 2 steals. Tyrese Haliburton had 4. Baron Davis had 10 assists. Tyrese Haliburton had 15. Davis, 2 more points, and I believe 1 more rebound. You decide whose game was better. But if you add in the steals component, Haliburton's stat line never, ever been done before. Just an absolutely ridiculous game. He was unbelievable, and the Pacers are up 3-1, in large part because of how good he was. Superhuman performance number 2 goes to the quietest 30-point game ever, Pascal Siakam, who got to 30 on a free throw with 22 seconds to go. He hit 30. I saw it go to 30 on the scoreboard, and I looked at the person next to me in meter row. I said, he has 30 points? When did that happen? It was very quiet and came very slowly. 11 in the first quarter, I think 6 and then 2, and then 11 in the fourth. So he really spread it out, and that's what Siakam does. Rick Carlisle, after Game 2, Siakam's best playoff game, maybe of his career, when he had 39, said it was a quiet 39, and I agreed with that. It was a lot louder in MSG and him leading the game in scoring. This was a quiet, silent, he has 30, level 30 stuff, because he was like only the third best player over expectation for the Pacers. He was the second best player overall. Awesome Siakam game. The second game in the series where all his shots that only he makes on the team were going in. The fadeaways over decent defenders, the seal off a small guy, the run in transition because he's fast despite being huge and tall kind of stuff. An absolutely spectacular variety scoring game, and he made threes. And when he does all that stuff, he just looks incredible, and he did in this game. And so he had 11 in the fourth, but he scored early in the fourth and late in the fourth, so it was like a spread out 11 to get to 30. The quietest 30-point game, especially in that setting I've ever seen, mostly because Haliburton's was louder, also because of two other guys we'll talk about. Siakam's been so good in this series. He's been so good for the Pacers. He's certainly had down moments in the playoffs. A lot of conversation about his play in the Cavs series not being at this level. What a player, though. He was awesome, and he's been awesome, and he's a big part of the reason the Pacers are one game away from the finals. Superhuman number 3. Finally, it happened. If you're a Locked On Pacers listener, you've heard me talk about this many a time. I believed a Bennedict Mathurin game would be coming in the playoffs. There it was. 20 points for Mathurin in Game 4. Comes in the game, scores in 4 seconds in the first quarter. Comes in the game and scores instantly in the third quarter. He came at the right times. He was a beast attacking on sideline out of bounds plays. He slithered into spots. He made good passes, one of which got Pascal Siakam a corner 3, and Siakam was hype, congratulating him on the pass. Made a bunch of free throws, got to the line a lot in a game with a lot of whistles. He earned them. And then he got some garbage time free throws after some guys fouled out, and the Pacers made some choices late. And that got him to 20, the stop the clock free throws late. Regardless, 20 points for Ben Mathurin. He played 12 and a half minutes. Insane per minute scoring production. The first player in playoff history in the NBA to score 20-plus points in less than 14 minutes. Phenomenal time for his best game of the playoffs. They win a home game because he was so good. And the last superhuman performance does not come because of any stats. But Aaron Nesmith, questionable with an ankle injury, plays in the game. Everybody wondered, would he be too slow to guard Brunson? Would he be effective on offense? He scored in double digits. He guarded Brunson extremely well. He moved great. He dunked early. He made 2 threes of the Pacers' first 3 made shots. Was he hurt at all? I believe he was, but he was exceptional given the circumstances surrounding his performance. He does not meet the statistical threshold of the other 3, but he was still phenomenal. And those 4 carried the Pacers across the finish line. They corrected their problems from Game 3, which they said they would. They had 4 superhuman performances. They solved a couple Knicks problems that were presented in Game 3, and they are up 3-1 in the series. 1 win from the finals. Unbelievable. The Thunder won about an hour ago from me recording this, so that would be the Pacers' opponent. They will be on the road in the final should they win, but they got to win Game 5. The keys to Game 5, be the Pacers. Play like themselves. Keep the tempo up. That's when the Knicks have had the most trouble playing defense and keeping up, scoring themselves in the series. The Pacers are 2-0 in MSG so far. They can keep up the tempo. They'll feel great. And it's tonight. I don't know when this will come out. Maybe pretty early in the morning. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. We'll see you after Game 5 on this channel. Lots of Fever videos going up. I'll do a Fever video probably over the weekend. I'll try to do it Thursday maybe about their first 5 games and scattered things, and then so much to come. Just so much to come. What a time for Indiana pro basketball. Thank you all for watching this one. See ya very soon.